Hello everyone out there, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to sit down and share with you 12 ways to find a little bit more joy in life. These are a few things that I have been doing in my life lately to just find a bit more joy, and I think that this kind of thing can be important for us to focus on sometimes, especially when it comes to our health and our well-being. Finding little pockets of joy in our life is really helpful for kind of boosting our well-being and helping us to feel good and feel our best. So let's get right into it. Number one is to dress up a bit every once in a while. Maybe this is putting on your favorite dress just because, but also especially nowadays with so many of us working from home, it can be really easy to not really get dressed or, just throw our hair up in a bun and kind of stay like that all day, which there's definitely a time and a place for. I've done that many a time, but I do find that anytime I just take a few minutes to, get dressed, put on something that makes me feel good and a little bit more ready for the day, maybe put on a little bit of makeup, and even if it's just a piece of jewelry or something that can just make you feel good when you're kind of getting ready for the day, these things can make a big difference in how we feel. I recently got a new necklace by Ana Luisa. I want to thank them for sponsoring today's video. This is their Chuck Gold chain necklace, and it's very simple, it's very dainty, it matches a lot of things, which is nice for me because I'm not someone who typically wears a ton of jewelry, so I like that just having a very simple kind of dainty chain can kind of match a lot of things. But also, all jewelry by Ana Luisa is sustainable. Part of their mission is offsetting 100% of their carbon emissions, beginning with the sourcing of raw materials all the way to disposal. They also use recycled materials like sterling silver and gold, and their pieces are hypoallergenic, which is especially important for me because a lot of jewelry makes my skin really itchy, but their pieces do not. Their pieces range anywhere from $39 and up, so there's something for everyone, and I do have a 10% off code for you to use if you want to check them out. I will leave that linked below in the description box. Number two is to appreciate the small things. I feel like there's a lot of things in our life, in our kind of day-to-day life, that get really overlooked, where, they're just such a part of our life that we don't often think about them and take a moment to really appreciate them. It could be, there's so many little examples I could give here. Maybe it's that your partner, took out the garbage, or like for me, I got this new bamboo drying rack that I'm in love with, and I just really appreciate having it. Dries the dishes really nicely when you put the dishes on it. There's so many little things that we could just take a moment to be like, I really appreciate having this in my life, and I'm gonna take a moment to appreciate it. Number three is to always have something to look forward to. It doesn't have to be big, it could be little things, something to look forward to either daily or weekly, maybe monthly, or maybe each year. Little things that you can just always look forward to. Maybe there's something that you like to do on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, or it could be a date night with your partner on Fridays or Saturdays. Anything that you can kind of put in your calendar and really look forward to. Number four is to discover the joy of houseplants. Many of you know how much I love my houseplants. I absolutely love them. I would say that if you don't feel like you have a green thumb, or if you've tried to have a houseplant before but it didn't work out well, try starting with one that's generally pretty easy to care for, like spider plants or a snake plant, an aloe pothos. These are lovely, the nice dangly ones that have long vines. I have a couple of those and I just adore them. But houseplants are they're so nice to have, and especially when they are thriving and they're growing new little sprouts. They're a joy to take care of. Plus they make your space feel nice and homey. Number five, I want to talk about having joyful belongings. And this is all about surrounding yourself with belongings that bring you a sense of joy, or things that you love, that you make use of, and that actually mean something to you. If you're familiar with Marie Kondo, which I don't follow her closely, but I do know that she talks a lot about having items around you that spark joy. And I think it's such an interesting way to approach our belongings. Is with how much joy they bring us, because I think we can so easily have so much stuff, so much clutter that just piles up, and it can subsequently kind of clutter our minds when there's just a lot around us. And if you do have things around you that you don't really love or you're not really using in your space, then donate them, or find someone who would take joy out of having that particular item. Number 6 is to try and focus on working on things that are within your strengths, the things that you feel like you're really, really good at, whether it's with your work or whether it's with a hobby or something like that. Anything in your day-to-day life where you feel like you're just really, really good at it, your strengths are in this, helps to really just boost our levels of confidence when it comes to carrying out tasks, because we know that we're good at them. We have a strength in that area, and it also helps to boost that sense of joy in our life too, when we are doing things that we feel like we're actually good at, as opposed to spreading ourselves thin all the time with things that don't light us up. We don't feel like we're good at them. Immerse yourself in the wonders of the natural world. This might be watching a sunset or a sunrise. A couple of weeks ago, for whatever reason, I woke up really early before the sun came up, and I was able to watch the sunrise, and it was so beautiful. I hadn't done that in quite a while. I would say that I'm a little bit more of a sunrise person than I am a sunset person. Let me know in the comments below. I also asked this on Instagram. Would you say that you prefer a sunrise or a sunset? Let me know in the comments. But anyways, if we're talking level of joy here, it was like 10 out of 10 joy. But whether it's that, or maybe it's looking up at the stars at night, or listening to the sound of rain out your window, or going for a walk through a forest, or by a body of water, just immersing yourself in some of those elements of nature and taking a few moments to just sort of relish in them, it feels good to do that. Next is to spend time with positive people, or people who make you laugh, or just have a good laugh, whether that's watching a funny movie or a funny show. This is also really good for the soul too. And like, laughter's got to be one of the best ways to find some joy in life, especially when we can feel so serious a lot of the time, especially if we're going through some hard things, and the world can sometimes feel so serious. But just having a good laugh. A couple of weeks ago, I had a Zoom call with a couple of friends that I haven't talked to in a little while, and we just laughed and laughed, and I hadn't laughed that hard in quite a long time. Number 9 is to set realistic goals for yourself and celebrate small wins. Anytime that you are setting a goal for yourself towards something that you want to achieve, remember to keep them realistic and really doable, and to celebrate the little wins along the way that get you from where you are to where you want to be. It's so easy to overlook those things. They don't feel as exciting as reaching the end destination, but all the little small wins along the way are definitely something to celebrate, because the reality is it's the little things that all add up over time. Let's talk a little bit about comparison. Comparison, you've probably heard before, is the thief of joy, and it really, really is. It just steals our joy when we are constantly focusing on other people and what they seem to be doing. If they seem to be doing more than us, they're better than us, they have what we don't have, especially with the world of social media. We just see everyone's highlight reels, and even the content I put out it's largely my highlights. But one of the most helpful things for me has been just really making the conscious decision to focus on my life, bring my attention back to my life. If ever I'm in this cycle of seeing something or wanting something, or just taking me out of my own life and focusing too much on something else, I know that I have to bring my attention back to my own life, and totally shut out distractions, and just, all right, where am I right now in my life? Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? What's around me? The thing with social media that I think a lot of us can get sucked into is we stop understanding what it is that we really want in our life, because we're so heavily focused on how can we live a life that we see, or how can we like appease others by making our life look, I don't know, Instagrammable or something like that. And it totally takes us away from our own real life, right here, right now. Like, I'm sitting here on my couch. You know, for you guys, you're only seeing a portion of this corner of my apartment, but the reality is there's so much more life outside of just the lens of a camera or a photo. Number 11, I want to talk a little bit about kind of staying true to yourself, and that is to align your actions with your values. And you might want to start with this by first asking yourself, what are your values in life? What are the things that are the most important to you in your life and that you value the most? And what can you do to embody those values a little bit more in your life? And lastly, number 12, this one might be the most important, because this point here is all about you and taking a moment to focus on what brings you joy, as opposed to me listing out all of these things for you to consider throughout this video, which are important too. But the last thing I want to talk about here is making what's known as a joy list. A joy list is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a list of all the things that bring you joy in your life. And it doesn't have to take long. Maybe there's 5 things you want to write down. Maybe there's 20 things you want to write down. But get out a piece of paper or grab your journal and just think for a moment, what are some of the things that bring you such a deep and genuine sense of joy? Make a list of all of those things, and from there you can look at them and say, all right, what of these things could I do? It's not about how can I do all of these things now all of the time, but what's one or two things that I could maybe start to do a little bit more of in my life, or add a little bit more of into my life. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, you can subscribe to my channel for new videos every single week. You can also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I do want to thank Ana Luisa again for sponsoring today's video. Again, you can check out the discount code in the description box below, and I will see you all in the next one.